we are setting a mood with a candle. The mood being that I only read 2 books this month because I kept picking out books that just were very put-downable. It's sad, but you know, sometimes you just have to say, goodbye, Felicia. Goodbye, my lover. Not really, because I didn't like you. First book that I loved this month was Blue Lily Lily Blue, which I reviewed last week. But this week I am reviewing Brazen by Katherine Longshore. And this is amazing, fantastic, and wonderful. It is the 3rd book in the... Goodreads is calling it the Royal Circle, but it is a companion series-ish by Katherine Longshore based in the Tudor times. I don't know what else to call it, but basically this one follows Mary Howard. The 2 before it follow some other people in that time. I've read Tarnish and I've read Brazen, so you don't have to read all of them. You can pick one, or you could read all of them. That would be the best, because Katherine Longshore is amazing. I need to go back and read Guilt. I love this period in history. There's a lot of drama, there's a lot of craziness because it's King Henry VIII, and if you know anything about English history at all, you know how terrible he was. And it kind of sets the tone for this book because it's just kind of like, hey, it's King Henry's world and we're all just living in it. The book starts off with Mary Howard, and she's our narrator, and she is 14 and she's marrying the king's now illegitimate son. It seems to be quite recent in this book that he has divorced / annulled his marriage with his previous wife in order to marry Anne Boleyn, and so throughout this novel Anne is the reigning queen, and she is also Mary Howard's cousin, and so they're pretty close, and Mary is actually one of her ladies, I guess. She's been hanging out with Anne for a while. I believe she also served the previous queen. Los Angeles Times blurbed it as being kind of like Gossip Girl, but I felt like it was more of a Sex and the City in that the girls kind of come together and they talk about all their crazy time stuff. It's not all crazy, and it's not as crazy as freaking Madge, because she goes off and does her own thing, but it shows that there are different kinds of women in this world, and people who are willing to follow every single rule, and there's some girls who are willing to break every rule, and then there's people like Mary who just want to toe the line very, very well. This is because of the fact that she kind of actually likes her husband. She kind of actually is in love with him, and she's trying to get to know him, and they're both 14, but she's just kind of like, okay, let me get to know this guy even though I'm not supposed to. And it's not that no kind of stuff, it's just, you know, can I just talk to you as a human being so I know who you are? And that's something that she presses upon her brother, because her brother gets married sometime in the novel, I believe, or maybe previous to this novel. I'm not totally sure, but basically she's like, get to know your wife. Like, don't just say you didn't want to marry her and now you're, you know, making babies with her. Get to know her. So the ladies in this novel are quite progressive, and they really are looking for love, and they're looking for something more than just where they are with their lot in life, because they're basically not important at all. Any point of time. The only time that they're really important in this novel, when they're seen as important in this novel, is if somebody's going on trial and it's like, hey, did you know that this person was terrible? And you basically have to say, yeah, the worst. And if you know your history, then you're probably sitting on the edge of your seat like I was reading this novel and thinking, man, I hope Anne just kicks King Henry in the face and just leaves, and just goes upon her merry way, because you know what's coming. You know it's gonna happen. So yes, this is one of my favorite books of the year. I needed something to get me out of putting things down. Not necessarily a book slump, just not finding the stuff that I really wanted to read, which is totally fine, and I just picked the biggest book I could find. So this book is like 520 some odd pages, and it's amazing and wonderful, and it is gripping, and it will have you on the edge of your seat, and it will have you giggling, and it will have you all over the place because, oh goodness, It's so good. It's so good. Oh, it's great. I requested this book from Penguin in exchange for an honest review, and that is what I'm giving you. This is such an amazing read. Oh my gosh. I'm serious.